When we think of horror, we often think of conventionally scary ideas, jump scares, or even graphic violence. Something that does not come to mind, however, is pastel colors, clean line art, and cat heads for faces. But in the webtoon comic Everything is Fine by Mike Birchall, that is exactly the style utilized to convey horror.
While this may seem contradictory to the idea of horror, this actually exposes our deep fears in a way that reflects our own reality. In what ways does Mike Birchall explore the identity of the characters to connect the text to our world? When you read through the story, there are many common similarities between our world and the story's world. They both have similar human interactions, they can love and have friends, they drive cars, and even sell tuna fish at the grocery store. And at first glance, these types of similarities are the only that come to mind. But with a deeper look, you see a commentary on modern life that shows the suppressed identities of the present day.
One of our greatest fears as humans is losing our loved ones. We would do just about anything for them. They are what grounds us in this world of constant torment and stress. So when that's taken away from us, we don't really know how to act.
Birchall demonstrates this in chapter 21, where, after he has Maggie starting to doubt her action of killing Officer Tom to protect herself and Sam, she starts calling herself a monster and starts breaking down on the floor. Sam, her loving husband, leans down and says, "You're a mom." After a moment of feeling flustered, we then see the first piece of true, unadulterated affection and physical support Maggie gets. We see the two of them, with their minds running like crazy, able to find peace in each other. We see them spooning on the bed, just like many other couples do. Up until this point, Birchall does not show Maggie having any support in what she's doing. She suffered from dealing with the norms of society all on her own, but she never got any affirmation from anyone. And as we will see later, it had a severe effect on her mental health. Waves of self-doubt flourished, inner evil started to creep out, and true regret started to set in. But then she saw a helping hand to raise her up in the ever-blackening abyss, and she was able to come to terms with herself. Birchall used this to convey how important human relations are, and what not having them can do to a person.
We are forced to make difficult decisions every single day, and without support, these can feel nearly impossible. Human relations acts as a pillar to which we can lay our burdens on, and without them, oftentimes we are nothing.
Not only does Birchall show human relations and what happens when we don't have them, but they also exemplify the pressures and stigmas put on people every day. In episode 5, when Maggie and Sam are at the dinner party, Maggie makes remarks that are generally socially unacceptable, such as saying vodka in response to Bob and Linda asking what they would like to drink. She does something similar when Bob and Linda ask how their dog is doing, and Maggie responds with, "He was eaten." Sam brings her aside and tells her that she shouldn't be saying these things as they're constantly being monitored and must be on their best behavior. At this point, we can see that she's going through something serious that she cannot utter. But she keeps putting on a facade as chapter 6 continues, where she gives a toast, stating she essentially has no regrets, and she was the happiest she had ever been in her entire life. In the moment, this is clearly a lie, as the tension in the room is as fragile as glass. But this is confirmed in chapter 12, where suicidal tendencies are revealed. This is where what is causing her inner turmoil is originally given to us. She has a daughter that was taken away from her, and she felt alone and without support, as all she was told to do was forget. This theme of forget has been persistent. It appeared at the dinner party. It happened when Charlie was found guilty, and it was even there as early as when the dog died in the beginning episodes. These stigmas she is being forced to comply with are tearing her apart. While on the outside she may seem okay, in reality she's slowly disintegrating from the inside out. Birchall is using this to relate to our society, because so many aspects of identity are often forced down due to social stigmas and pressures. He is showing what effects they can have on a person, and only until these pressures are released is she able to find any sort of inner peace. One interesting aspect of Everything is Fine is that while all the characters are forced to live under the rules of this dystopian society, not a single character actually follows them. Every main character is revealed to be breaking the law. The one side character featured helps Maggie break the law. The only characters that seem to obey the laws of this dystopian society is the literal law enforcement. Birchall is expressing that a central part of our human identity is to refuse to conform to the rules. Most importantly, Birchall doesn't reveal that everyone breaks the law all at once. Until Charlie shows Maggie how to set up the tinfoil basement, every character is shown to perfectly match the expectations of their society. This reflects how, from each of our perspectives, everyone else fits into these confines perfectly. In reality, however, as Maggie sees time go on, nobody fits those confines. Birchall exposes that the system is built to perpetuate itself. Nobody wants it, nobody enforces it, other than those acting for the system itself. So we must ask ourselves again, how does Birchall explore the identity of the characters to relate the story to our own lives?
Well, Birchall connects with us through our deepest thought and insecure. He is connected to the core element of the human condition, the thing that grounds us to the world and each other. He talked about human relations and just how important they are. His comment on the social stigma and pressure that are put on us every day, and the weight that is put on our shoulder as a result. It expresses how these can result in depression, anxiety, and suicidal thought and action.
He even mentions that you can't even express yourself. And finally, how you're forced to wear a mask and smile for hours at a time.
What Birchall has done here is nothing short of beautiful. His work has reflected what keeps us sane while also acting as a commentary on huge societal problems we have to deal with every single day. All while being disguised as a simple horror webtoon.